Welcome to English Listening Practice. Today's story, How to Finally Start Exercising. This story has 55 parts. Listen carefully and enjoy the story. Have you ever bought expensive gym clothes, put them in your closet, and then completely forgotten about them? Welcome back to the podcast. I am so glad you are joining me today for another episode. If you have been thinking about getting fit, but you just don't know where to begin, you are in the right place. Today, we are going to talk about starting to exercise, and more importantly, how to actually keep doing it. Staying active is not just about looking good. It is about feeling energetic, improving your mood, and living a healthier life. Let's jump into our first main point, which is probably the most important rule of all. You need to start small, because trying to do too much too soon is a guaranteed way to fail. Imagine you decide to run 10 kilometers on your very first day of training. By the next morning, your whole body will ache, and you will probably never want to run again. If you start with just a 10-minute walk instead, you will feel successful and ready for more. Many people think that a workout only counts if you are sweating in a gym for an hour. That is simply not true, because even 15 minutes of stretching in your living room is a great start. When I first started working out, I used to just do a short yoga video on YouTube every morning. It was easy enough that I didn't want to skip it, but it still helped me build a healthy habit. So your goal for the first few weeks is just to show up and do something active. Once you have built that habit, you can slowly increase the time and difficulty of your workouts. Now, let's move on to the second big idea. You have to find an activity that you actually enjoy. Exercise should never feel like a punishment for eating a piece of cake. If you hate running, please do not force yourself to run on a treadmill every day. There are so many different ways to move your body, and you just need to explore your options. Have you ever tried dancing in your kitchen while cooking dinner? That totally counts as exercise. Maybe you prefer being outdoors, so cycling or hiking would be a perfect fit for you. Or perhaps you like being in the water, which means swimming could be your new favorite hobby. Think about what you enjoyed doing when you were a child, like riding a bike or playing tennis. If you had chosen a sport you hated back then, you probably would have quit very quickly. The same rule applies to us as adults, so don't be afraid to try a few different classes. You might try a boxing class one week and a Pilates class the next week. Eventually, you will find something that makes you smile, or at least doesn't make you want to cry. When you actually look forward to your workout, staying consistent becomes incredibly easy. This brings us to some common mistakes people make when they decide to get in shape. The biggest mistake is comparing yourself to fitness influencers on social media. Remember that those people have been training for years, and it is literally their full-time job. Another common trap is forgetting to schedule your rest days. Your muscles need time to recover, so taking a day off is just as important as the exercise itself. If you don't rest, you might injure yourself, and then you won't be able to exercise at all. A really practical tip is to schedule your workouts in your calendar, just like a business meeting. If you write down gym at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, you are much more likely to actually go. Also, try preparing your gym bag the night before, so you can just grab it and leave in the morning. Removing these small barriers makes it much harder to make excuses when you feel lazy. Let's look at some real-world scenarios to see how you can fit exercise into a busy day. Imagine you work in an office, and you sit at a desk for 8 hours straight. You can easily add more movement to your day by taking the stairs instead of the elevator. If you have to take a long phone call, why not pace around the room or walk down the hall? Even when you are at home waiting for the kettle to boil, you could do a few quick squats. These tiny moments of movement might seem useless, but they really add up by the end of the week. Let's say you have a friend who also wants to get fit, which is a fantastic opportunity. You can become workout buddies and promise to go for a walk together every Thursday evening. When you know someone is waiting for you at the park, you won't want to let them down.
Having a friend by your side makes the whole experience much more social and fun. Let's do a quick recap of what we have covered today before we finish the episode. Remember to start small, find an activity you genuinely enjoy, and build movement into your daily routine. Here are some useful English phrases you can use when talking about this topic. You can say, "I am getting into shape," when you want to describe your new fitness journey. Or you can say, "I have taken up swimming," which means you have started doing it as a new hobby. Thank you so much for listening today. Now, go put on your trainers, take a short walk, and I will see you in the next episode. And that's the end of today's story, how to finally start exercising. I hope you learned something new and enjoyed listening. Keep practicing every day. Your English is getting better and better. Follow this channel for more English listening practice. See you next time.